Well, it is week 2 of heated protests against Puerto Rico's governor, as described by one El Paso man who just came back from the island. He was attending a wedding there. KTSM 9 News reporter Susie Castillo is live in the newsroom with his experience.
From the moment the El Paso man arrived in San Juan, Puerto Rico, he realized it wasn't going to be a regular trip because he says there was such large crowds. The cab driver actually dropped him off about 30 minutes walking distance away from his hotel. Just a few hundred feet from protest in San Juan, Sergio Ramirez III and his sister were attending a wedding. The massive protest prompting the wedding to be moved 2 hours ahead of schedule.
Half of the party was Puerto Rican and half of the party was Mexican or Chicano from the frontera. So it was very easy for them to accommodate for this huge event for the families coming together. And being there at the cathedral right there as it's happening, I think about 500 feet away.
Ramirez joined the crowds of protesters after learning they're calling for the resignation of the governor.
The crowds of people walking the street, the pride that people had with their flags, with everything they were doing, the way they were organizing, it was just beautiful.
Ramirez says his trip reminded him of how Hurricane Maria affected Puerto Ricans he knew.
I was dating a Puerto Rican guy at the time, and so he was heavily impacted even by the hurricane. And even for me at the time, I didn't realize how much of an effect the hurricane had.
At the heart of the demonstrations, leaked messages between Governor Ricardo Rosselló and his inner circle, in which he allegedly attacked political opponents and celebrities in a profanity-laced, homophobic, and misogynistic in nature.
There's comments made in terms of right after the hurricane, isn't there extra bodies, carcasses we could send, feed the crows, things like that. So, I mean, having had that experience in Phoenix with this Puerto Rican guy, it was just absolutely hurtful. And I think that's why I wanted to get involved.
Ramirez says it's an experience he'll never forget, bringing back some souvenirs to remind him of the time he felt the need to join a major protest. Governor Rosselló has apologized, saying he will not seek re-election, but says he does plan to continue serving the rest of his term. Now, there has been calls for impeachment. Reporting live from the newsroom, Susie Castillo, KTSM 9 News.